Hi, welcome back. It's Janelle from Infinite Potential Healing, and today I wanted to have a little bit of a chat about what nobody tells you about evolving. And when I say evolving, I mean in a personal evolution context. So, there's been a lot of talk over the past couple of years about the 3D to 5D ascension process and kind of the energetic and spiritual evolution or revolution, depending on how you choose to look at it, that goes along with that. And people talk about, moving from 3D constructs into 5D constructs. And yes, it's wonderful, it's exciting, it's connected, it opens you to more of your spiritual gifts. But what people don't tell you is all of that growth isn't comfortable. It's not easy. It requires a whole lot of self awareness and it requires a whole lot of healing. And I'm not just talking about the type of healing where, you sit with it for a minute and you're good to go. I'm talking about really deep, soul level, gut wrenching, lean in, ugly, nitty gritty type of healing. It's necessary for ascension. It's necessary for evolution. It's necessary for growth. If you have ever wanted to grow your intuition or your means of spiritual connection, maybe develop another one of your clairs, your intuitive senses, and you felt a little bit blocked, chances are there is something that you need to process emotionally that you either aren't aware of or have been kind of sugarcoating or only doing on a surface level. When you start to grow and you start to heal, what happens is all of those things that you maybe couldn't deal with or couldn't really process or couldn't really sit with or lean into when they were happening because you were in the midst of a proverbial fire, you were in the midst of trauma and a trauma response, so you really didn't have the emotional bandwidth to lean in and process them in the moment. All that shit's still inside of you. It's still there. It still needs to be unpacked, looked at, dealt with, integrated. And sometimes as you get healthier, it comes up and it feels like it kind of smacks you upside the head and hits you out of nowhere. And then in those moments, hopefully you've done enough emotional work, enough energetic work that you do have the bandwidth to sit with it for a hot minute. I actually had some of these moments happen for me a couple of weeks ago, completely unexpected. There was a situation with a now former friend. We parted ways a couple of years ago, and we did so without any sort of discussion. It was just something occurred, it was a deal breaker for me. I withdrew my energy and chose to focus on myself. And I didn't feel that I owed anyone, including this former friend, a memo for making that choice to put myself first and do what I needed to do. Subsequently, there has not been any sort of, follow up. There's never been a conversation about what happened. And for reasons that I don't understand, and they're not mine to understand, this particular person decided to reach out to me. And in doing so, they sent me a message and made a statement that proved to me that absolutely nothing had changed for them in the time that we have had this distance or have been apart or haven't been connected, haven't been talking, however you want to look at it. And when I sat with that, I realized that this entire time, I really truly believed in my soul, in my being, the crux of my person, that this now former friend knew what it was they had done that had caused me to make the choice to withdraw my energy from our connection. However, the statement that this person made it crystal clear to me that even if they maybe once knew and subsequently never did anything about it, like acknowledged it, apologized, take accountability and responsibility for it, they certainly have absolutely no idea of what they did now. And that was really very hurtful to me because what that said to me is this person didn't actually value our connection. They didn't value me as a person enough to actually care about the effect of their actions or what had transpired between us or what they may have done that had caused this separation. And obviously, I had, leaned into this idea that they did know that because that's what I needed to do to be able to get myself through the hurt of what had transpired between this person and myself, and to be able to still manage everything else that I was dealing with, because I had several things happen at once, several things blow up kind of all at the same time. And that's where my mind went, my belief system went, almost to protect me from the truth that this person didn't care. For me, the relationship was always about the fact that I loved and I valued this person for who they are, the spiritual truth of who they are. And I can tell you to this day, I absolutely still love this person in and for the spiritual truth of who they are. But I don't believe that the same is true of their feelings towards me. I think that on some level, maybe they cared about me, but it was more they cared about what I could do for them. And the message that they sent me very much reflected that. And when I had that realization, it truly broke my heart. And it was heartbreak that I am healthy enough and strong enough to hold and sit with and process now. But I was not healthy enough and strong enough because I was in the midst of so much chaos, so much hurt, so much pain when the situation had initially unfolded. So I had to sit with the heartbreak. I had to sit with the realization. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't fun. And there was some literal guttural sobbing. There was some ugly crying that happened, y'all. I'm not even going to, try to pretend otherwise. And as I sat with that, a really interesting thing transpired. Obviously, I'm building to a place of acceptance, not to say that this realization doesn't still hurt me, because it does, but I can accept it for what it is. And as I sat with all of those dynamics and all of that emotion, and I released it and then I was able to process it, I had another awareness come up for me that had to do with my dynamic with my mom. And that was a really interesting correlation that I probably wouldn't have ever made or drawn. But sometimes when we stuff things down or we put things on the shelf, when we start to stuff them or take things off the shelf, that's when we realize that things that don't seem to be related on the surface level sometimes are from an energetic perspective. So what I realized with my mom, and to kind of back up a little bit, I had to become I had to take on guardianship and conservatorship of my mom a couple of years ago. And it was a really difficult and challenging situation. And it has led me to a lot of awarenesses and also into a lot of really deep processing about the history of my relationship with my mom. So I've been in that, I've been slogging through it for the past couple of years. Definitely not fun, definitely not easy, definitely very, very layered. And kind of peeling back those layers of the onion is something that has gone on really for the past couple of years. But I realized that I was reacting to and limiting myself in a very specific way within the confines of this whole, sticky, complicated relationship with my mom. Because if I chose not to limit myself and I chose to embrace what was being offered in the situation, it would mean that I accepted that this was the way that it was. And I don't want it to be like this. I mean, who wants to have to take guardianship and conservatorship over their mom? Who wants to have a layered, challenging dynamic with their parents? So once I was able to sit with that, again, more sobbing, more processing, more crying, but also healing. Healing and the knowledge and the awareness that I can make a different choice within the circumstances that I have been given. I can play different cards within the hand that I've been dealt, and I can give myself and offer myself more freedom and be more comfortable within the dynamic simply by changing the way that I'm operating within this. And I had been racking my brains. I had been banging my head against a proverbial wall as to how to make this situation and this dynamic with my mom softer, gentler, easier, something that I could tolerate, something that I could live within, something that I could navigate. And it was through processing this situation with this now former friend that led me to have the emotional capacity and the space to process these feelings and these dynamics with my mom, that then gave me the ability to connect with, this is what I need to do. These are the choices that I have available. These are my next steps. So when we talk about evolution, when we talk about personal growth, when we talk about, this ascension process, just know, if your soul decided to sign up for it, and PS, if you're watching this video, your soul did choose to sign up for it, it's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be fun. It's going to be super layered, super complicated, super hard, super lonely. But even though it feels lonely, you are never alone, because you always have your spiritual connection. You always have your spiritual support team. They are literally waiting on you to call on them so that they can come in and they can help you. You are never alone, even when it feels lonely, even when it feels overwhelming. So keep on keeping on, keep on doing the work, keep on leaning into processing and all of those, peeling back all of those layers of the proverbial onion, because what's on the other side is growth, is evolution, is ascension, and it is more rewarding now than it has ever been in your entire life, and it's so very worth it. So know that I always see you, I love you, I have your back, and I will see you on the other side.